Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Let me see who's here. Let me see who was here first. That's where I'll start. Gwendolyn Daniels. Thank you so much. There are no prizes for being first, but I really appreciate it. Followed by Marcia Ware, Joan Garcia, Tiger Lily International, LLC. Rosa Roberts. It's been a while, right? Annie Bullard, Verda Sanchez, Ingrid Soares, Lydia Washington. Hello to Marvin Cotto and Congo Laboso TV. Laverne Lockhart, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. And also, thank you so much for having a membership. Really, really appreciate it. Joan Garcia wants to say hi to a few people. There we go. And Elaine Parker. And let's see, Marcia Ware. Fancy Fancy. Okay, Dolores Williams. Thank you for being here. And let me see here. Connie Balmer. Hey, Connie Balmer. Happy Thursday to you. Gosh, I can't believe it's Thursday already. And big hugs from Dorothy Ross, Rochelle Baudreau. Uh, okay, Kathy Gabby. And let's see, who else? I'm trying to get used to these bifocals. I don't think I'm there yet. I always feel like I have to clean them for some reason. And they are clean, but I don't like them. I don't like them. Something about them is weird. Um, mm, but oh well, I'm officially old. I got bifocals, bifocals, and not the no lines either. Just some high-powered bifocals. Okay. Thank you very much. I'm not really a vain person. I'm just, it's a sign when you get those bifocals. You know what I mean? Next thing you know, um, the state will make me put a white stick on the front of my car. Okay. Oh, Sherry Ware. Hi. All right. So I'm scrolling all the way to the end, and then I'll get started. Got a few things to cover today. Wow, you guys were having a nice conversation. I hope oh, yeah. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Let's see. Who says they don't like bifocals? There we go. Yeah, tell me about it, Annie Bennett. They are a trip and the whole vacation. I had a neighbor used to say that. She said, "You a trip and the whole vacation." A trip and the whole vacation. Um, what is that? They make sure the line is even on both lenses. My first pair were a mess. Yeah, I don't like them. I still feel like I don't know. It's that tilting the head back and forth thing, and sometimes I'm still like lifting up my glasses. I could actually thread a needle without them, but yeah, my vision has shifted a lot in just a year. But anyway, that that is enough of all that who shot John. Let me get into it. As Big Mama said on the oh gosh, what was it? Soul Food. All right, that's enough of all that who shot John. I love that. All right, that's enough of all that who shot John. Oh man, who shot John? Now that's going all the way back to the old school, isn't it? Okay, so I'm gonna fill up the screen, take me out of it. Okay. So, as you can see, the Princess of Wales leaves Founding Museum. Is it Fondling? Oh, Fondling. The Fondling Museum. Boy, I tell you, that sounds weird, doesn't it? The Fondling Museum. Um, I would hate to see what they have on exhibit at the Fondling Museum. Not to be confused with fondling, but it sounds very close to Fondling Museum. Oh, you know what? Let me make this bigger. There we go. One anti monarchy protester who was standing alongside other members of the public shouted, "Born equal." Boo! The protester told me she is not here officially representing Republic. I didn't think so. I saw that they said that the person was representing Republic, and I don't think that was the case. But anyway, we are going to dive into that. Let me do this first. Of course, the past 24 hours has been all Tina all the time, and I'm here for it. Fond memories, lots of archival footage, all kind of things to remind us of the greatness of Tina Turner. So, and with that said, excuse me, I'm sure we all have. Oh, hold on. Mm, take a sip of coffee. There we go. As Dolly Parton said, pour myself a cup of ambition. That was a clever line. Pour myself a cup of ambition. That was clever. Dolly Parton, great songwriter. Okay, I'm going to make myself comfortable so I can get into it. I got my bell. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, because I got to, I can't do those glasses right now. Too much work. Too much work. Okay. Yes, rest in power, Tina. And of course, this photo has been making rounds the last 24 hours. I don't know where this one is from, but I'm here for it. And then take a look here. Now, the very last thing I heard before I went on, I was listening to Cher, and Cher said that she felt this urgency to go and spend time with Tina Turner because she felt like it was necessary. And she said Tina Turner, was like, oh, okay. So they went and sat by the water or overlooking the water or whatever. And and they enjoyed a little conversation. She said, I can only probably spend about an hour. Cher said 5 hours later, they were laughing like old times, and Tina's taking her all through the house and showing her this thing she just bought and this thing she just bought. And she said that, of course, Tina Turner liked to collect things, and she said there was very few empty spaces in the house because of Tina Turner's collection of this, that, and the other. So it was very, very warm and refreshing to listen to Cher um, talk about the old days with her and Tina, and of course, the recent times that they spent together, where Cher obviously was going back and forth to Switzerland to spend time with her friend, which I thought was absolutely touching. And you may remember this. This was the Cher show after Sonny and Cher were no longer a team. I kind of think they had broke up before that, but Cher took over the show herself, and it was the Cher Variety Hour, the Cher show, and Tina would make the occasional appearance on the show. And this, of course, was one of the episodes where they sang, "Shame, shame, shame, shame on you if you can't dance too." Very, very incredible seeing that. I've actually watched it a few times on YouTube just because, but yeah, it was a good show, and yeah, so they were very close friends and have been friends for years. And I remember one day when no, actually, Tina Turner had a concert, and I don't know if Cher was supposed to be on the stage or if she was supposed to come on later or something like that. Maybe it was at an award show. And one of the things that plagued Tina Turner over the years is that as she got older, and I don't know if it was because her health was declining at the time, but she would hit a wall. She would literally get out there on the stage, and at a certain point, her body just started to shut down. And Cher actually ran out there one day when she saw her getting a bit winded. Maybe you guys saw that concert, and they both, I think, had did "Proud Mary" together, if I recall the song. But it was just like a very spontaneous thing. Maybe Cher was supposed to come out later or something like that. I don't remember the exact circumstances, but yeah, she went out there, and I love that friendship between them. I mean, you know, and this is one of the things that I think is a very powerful type of sisterhood is when you see two good girlfriends just being girlfriendly with each other. That is something to behold. That is something to behold. And that is a very strong thing. And so when you see, let's say, the mean girl, who I'm going to talk about some more later, who doesn't seem to have any girlfriends, who doesn't seem to have much by way of connection, doesn't even seem to have a sister these days. That says a lot when you don't, when a woman doesn't have a good girlfriend. I mean, yeah, I get some women don't like having women friends, or they say they don't get along with them, but I'm telling you, that is a bond that as an outsider looking in, you can see that connection and you can see what that means to both women. And I think that if, for whatever reason, if women don't have that kind of sisterhood and connection, someone who's not necessarily family, someone who is a family that they have connected with through their lifetime, I just think that's very important. So I'm glad that Tina had that, and maybe not only with Cher, maybe with other people. Of course, she was very close to Oprah Winfrey, which probably was more like a mother-daughter relationship, but still, glad she had those connections. Very, very important. So, if you don't have that and you're okay with that, more power to you. But I just think it's very, very important. Sisterhood is very important. The connection will build you into a better woman. Amen to that. Amen to that. So yeah, so I'm glad for that. And of course, the husband, Tina Turner had that incredible relationship, and again, that's another good thing for her. There was a lot of ups and downs throughout her life. And of course, we all know what happened to her son. And I think that was the only son that she had with Ike, right? The other kids she just kind of adopted. But still, incredible story. We're going to hear so much more about that over time. Let me see. There's a certain person with a title in the UK that can use advice of a sisterhood. Yes, I a certain mean girl, right? a certain mean girl. Maybe if she had that, she wouldn't be so mean. Maybe if she had that, she wouldn't be so mean. I mean, to be fair, we can't really know for sure because, we're just observing things. But gosh, yeah, if you can't just go to, I mean, how weird is that? You can't even just go to lunch. You can't go to a restaurant. You can't go to the high street. Stuff that normal people do. I could understand how a person becomes so, and maybe, well, anyway, we'll talk about that later. Uh, oh man, sooner rather than later, I promise. Uh, yeah, that's what I was thinking, Iris. That's what I was thinking. Maybe she's not allowed. Maybe she's not allowed. Um. Oh, okay. Oh, is that right? Okay, let me see here. Miss Turner had two sons, one from a previous relationship and one with Ike. Ike adopted the first one. The two sons are now deceased. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Okay, thank you for that information. Gwendolyn Daniel says Miss Tina Turner was an absolutely amazing, strong lady, 100%. Uh, okay, thank you very much. All right, so there we go. Now, some sweet Russian speaking girls, devoted fans of Meghan and Harry, decided to share their photos in support of the Sussexes after the paparazzi mess and bashing of Harry and Meghan in media. Um, please, what is RT as the girls with, is that RT? Retweet? Okay, I guess. Please retweet as girls will be enormously happy to share their message. We underscore believe underscore you. And of course we do. So this is it right here. Take a look. The Duke and Duchess, I'm sorry, what is that? Oh, let me move this down. Okay. The Duke of Sussex, Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry and Meghan. Boom. Okay. We love you. Okay. Sorry. I don't know what I'm doing here. Let me pull that back down. We love and support you very much. We believe you. We believe in you. We are all for you and with you. You are not alone, and we hear every word you say. No one can forbid you to tell the truth. Every person on earth has the right to speak out. You are loved by more people than you might think. Always with you, sincerely, your fans. Love, we believe you. Isn't that adorable? I love it. I love it. Um, oh, Nothlando, thank you so much. Good evening. According to South African Times, to Baron and to and all beloved squatties, stay blessed, all of you, with your families, also the Sussexes. Thank you very much. Happy Thursday. Well, Friday for you now, right? Happy Friday to you, but happy Thursday to the rest of you. So there you can see the signs. Stop violence and hatred. Stop a campaign against the Sussexes. Meghan and Harry, we support you. We believe you. Stop bullying Meghan and Harry. And take a look there. There's a group of them all holding their signs. Stop violence and hatred. Stop the smear campaign against the Sussexes. Meghan and Harry, we support you. We believe you. Now, mind you, this is coming from Russia. How cool is that? I mean, a whole world away, and this love and support outreaching to the Sussexes. It reminds you of how their story, how what we're doing here has managed to make a huge difference by blocking out some of that hate campaign, that continuous narrative from the British tabloid media, and of course, their co conspirators here in the United States. Fortunately, we are making a difference. And let us not forget the Australian media. I, I try to avoid them. Sometimes I want to like click on Sky News and I get the wrong Sky News. I get all Sky News Australia, and it's like, oh no, these are some hateful broadcasters. So anyway, yes, from Russia with love. Absolutely, from Russia with love. Nobody does it better. I've been triggered. Makes me feel sad for the rest. Why did you get me started? All you had to say was from Russia with love, and here I go. I wasn't looking, but somehow you found me. Now that song is going to be stuck in your head all day. You're welcome. You're welcome. Ah, there we go. So now you can see some of these up closer. Very, very cool. Stop the hate campaign. Stop the hatred. Persecution of Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Stop violence and hatred. Stop the smear campaign against the Sussexes. We believe you. We support you. Stop bullying. Isn't this cool? I love it. Just a spontaneous outreach from Russia with love. All right. And then check it out. Hoghead is at it again. Why should we pay for Prince Harry's why should we pay for Prince Harry? Why should we pay for his security is what he's saying. Why should we pay for Prince Harry's security? Piers Morgan on Duke of Sussex's police protection. He has decided to twist the words around and make it seem like Harry is asking for the public to pay for his security. That is certainly not what he's asking for. Now, when I first saw it, I was like, oh boy, let me verify that it's true. So I saw that top one up there. I said, oh, did he really do that? So then I decided to confirm it. And so that's why you see the same thing twice. Why should we pay for Prince Harry? And then as I thought about it, I said to myself, self, aren't they paying for Andrew? So that's what was missing from the conversation. Now, Tessa Dunlap was also on that one. I saw the video. Tessa Dunlap was there. And I don't know how the entire show went because I only saw that one little part where he had an exchange with Tessa. But I wonder, I'm just curious if they decided to leave Andrew out of the conversation. See, as soon as Tessa began to like really push back against what Pierce Morgan was saying, then all of a sudden, Pierce Morgan cuts her off. Hang on. You know how he says that? Hang on. And then, of course, he, pretty much eliminated everything she said. And then, of course, we got this long dialogue from him. This is why I say those shows are so deceptive and so um, painful to watch because the center of the argument should have been just that. Don't try to argue what Harry's been through. Just remind people that they're still paying for Andrew. That should have been the whole center of the argument is if you're paying for Andrew, someone who paid 12 million, well, had his mama pay 12 million pounds or more to someone he never met for something he didn't do, as opposed to having someone who hasn't been in trouble, who hasn't been sought by a court of law, who decided that they would rather pay for their own security. You won't even get him the benefit of being able to pay for his own security. So, of course, the people that want to hear the worst about the Sussexes will walk away from that broadcast hearing nothing but Harry wanted us to pay for his security. He's not here, but he wants us to pay for his security. So it was deceptive on Pierce Morgan's part, and deliberately so. He meant for it to go just the way it went. And Tessa Dunlap, who, of course, is not a squatty, she says, I'm not a squatty. But, she has been given the task over and over again to push back, to play the yin and yang of it. The protagonist and antagonist situation. And of course, you can never hear most of what she has to say because Pierce Morgan is going to cut her off. Hang on. That's his control word right there. Hang on. I could not do something like that with well, I'll tell you this much. I would never get invited back. I would never get invited back. And I'm so glad that Dr. Shola does not allow people to push her around like that. They don't do that with Dr. Shola. Dr. Shola is not going to let you overpower her with your voice. You're not going to do it. Pierce Morgan used to try, but she just didn't give him the benefit. So let me take a look at a couple of your comments. Oh, really? I'm at work sneaking and listening to the live while watching out for my manager. No replay for me tonight. Love you guys. Thank you, Marie Johnson. Oh, man. So, Marie, do me a favor. Turn the volume up as loud as you can. I wasn't looking, but somehow you found me. I tried to hide from your love. But like heaven above me, the spy who loved me. There you go. Turn it up as loud as you can. Is keeping all my secrets safe tonight. And nobody does it better. Though sometimes I wish someone could. Okay. So, anyway, that's enough of Hoghead. Now, let's get to the juicy part. Check it out. Monarchy is what that sign says. I can't say out loud. But there was someone who showed up to make her voice heard. And I have been waiting for this. I am so sorry that it's just one person. I would have preferred to see a crowd of people, but it was just that one person. But I'll take what I can get. I'll take what I can get. So, Kitty showed up for something. Now, as you guys know, Kate has been all over the place. She has been all over them like a cheap suit, threadbare, faded, cheap fabric. She has been all over them like a cheap suit. Every place you turn, there's Kate. There's Kate. There's Kate. And especially if there's children around, there's Kate. Kate here, Kate there. I mean, the kids can't even enjoy a picnic They can't even enjoy the flower show because all of a sudden, here she comes. I mean, the kids sitting up there minding their own business, trying to enjoy themselves, a day out and everything. And then all of a sudden, there's her big face all up in theirs, smiling and grinning, split ends, um, hair extensions, and all. They can't even enjoy a day in the sun because all of a sudden, here comes Kitty. Well, as you can see, this lady had had enough of it. And I think it's necessary because it is not right that the royals, especially given the reputation of that family, stay away from other people's kids. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just based on the conspiracies and such, it seemed like you would want to avoid that. But no, it is a constant thing. Stay away from them. And especially children of color. It seems like, I'm like, are there any white kids left in all of London? Why is it every time they go someplace, it's like the whole African community is in the room? That is not by chance, that's by design. I didn't know there was that many black people in the UK. But every time the Royals go out, they seem to find them. It's like they have a black people magnet in their pocket. So it's just unusual. I mean, I appreciate the representation and all, but not like that. That is weird. That is absolutely weird. So, as you can see, Princess in Pink. Kate rocks a pearly, um, what is that, McQueen look in a color block trousers, something. Um, she visits the fun, and there, uh, I'm telling you, that name is not healthy. Fondling Museum alongside Professor Green. The Fondling Museum. You couldn't make that up. Anyway, and so this lady emerged with signs ready to protest. And as you can see, she was obstructed by this police officer. And anyway, let me get the video out for you guys. Got to see this. I wasn't looking, but well, if you notice, Kitty did not go and shake hands. Did you notice that? She did not shake hands with anybody. I would imagine that on a typical occasion such as that, she would have gone over to the line to shake hands with people, but instead, she grabbed the door handle and pulled all those hair extensions back into the car with her and took off. Now that was weird. Um, it is what it is. And notice that throughout this protest, the crowd of people gathered. Did you notice the vigorous defense of Kate? Did you notice how forcefully they shouted down the woman yelling "Born equal boo"? I know you didn't notice it because it didn't happen. They just silently allowed this woman to heckle Kate. Listen. So, toward the end, I'm not sure exactly what they were saying, but for the most part, this woman had free access to boo her. So, yeah, there you go. Not much of a defense for her. Just a couple of people saying, hey, and that's it. So, I'm glad for this because every time there is an occasion where the Sussexes are supposed to go back to the UK, what do we see in the papers? What do we see online? Will you boo Harry and Meghan? If Harry and Meghan come, will you boo them? So I hope that this is a start. I hope that this continues. I hope that people wake up and realize how ridiculous Kate running around, putting on this fashion show, doing all this performative art. I hope people will see it for the farce that it is because it is so disingenuous and they use negative stories of Meghan to uplift Kate. I wouldn't care what Kate is doing, to be honest with you. I don't care. The only reason why I'm bothered by it is because every time they have an appearance by Kate, they have to show Kate good, Meghan bad. Kate good, Meghan bad. So they will surely accompany this with at least two or three stories about Meghan that has some kind of negative connotation to it or some negative theme to it. And so that is why I hope this continues. I don't like it. It is they're doing it to try to destroy Meghan's character, to try to build up mediocre Middleton. That is the only reason why they do that. Amongst other things, of course, it brings in a lot of clicks, and clicks equal profits. So, thank you so much, Elaine Parker, for the super sticker, and thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. Let's see. Charles started using the children to drown out the protesters. Now Skull and Bones are doing the same. Yes, yes. It seems like it was so long ago, but it was only, what, a matter of about a month ago where Charles had that crowd of children chanting, God Save the King. That was, oh man, people compared it to North Korea. Church Nelly, how are you? Glad you're here. Thank you so much. Okay. Oh, okay. Baron is pronounced foundling, as in children's. Uh, what is that? Who used to be abandoned by their parents due to poverty? Oh, okay. Foundling, like that movie, The Foundling, right? Wasn't that a movie? Anyway, um, weird name, weird. But thank you so much for that. Let me see. Bigotry Barbie had the same outfit with long pants instead of shorts like Megan. Oh, yes. Yes, you're right about that. Let me see here. And you know what? And of course, in this instance, Kate is going to wear a lot of pink because she wants to show her softer side. This all of this is quite deliberate. This is not just by chance. Of course, we all know that this is quite deliberate. Some image consultant is putting this together. Vinny Blair says, Baron, they know that I'm sorry, they know what people think, but they just don't care. They are royalty. Opinion matters, but their own. Oh, no opinion matters, but their own. No one's opinion matters, but their own. They'll keep using black kids for photo ops. That's disgusting, though, isn't it? It is disgusting. How dare they? It's so crass. It's so tacky. And then right there, you can see Victoria Murphy says the Princess of Wales leaves Foundling Museum. One anti monarchy protester who was standing alongside other members of the public shouting, Born Equal Boo. The protester told me she was not here officially representing Republic. And again, I did not think she was. I mean, she probably would have had the yellow and black sign, although Republic does protest, but they protest the king, not, you know, they're not protesting other members of the royal family, which I think they should. I think they should. I hope these protests continue. I hope they are bigger and louder and persistent. I really, really do. Let them have a taste of their own conspired medicine. Oh, okay. Again, same thing. Children without parents. Huh. Let me see here. They want to heckle Meghan when she goes out. So heckler Kate when she goes out. Meghan's character and reputation is fine. Thank you, Joyce Bose. Dorothy Ross says, I wonder what Kate does when she gets back to her many homes. Does she take off her shoes and throw them at something or somebody, curse and use bad words? Um, I'm going to say probably all of the above. Oh, no. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, after like about 3 years, I think most batteries, well, at least on my phones, the batteries usually die out. Um, I'm actually on my new laptop right now, so let me see. Yeah, I got a little over half a battery. Okay, moving on. So, and then there is Kate making some child cry. What is it about Kate that makes these kids cringe? What causes children to recoil when they see her up close? Take a look there. This kid is like having fits. What is it? What does she do to these children? Oh, man. And then, of course, right here, out of the hundreds of photos that are taken every time she goes somewhere, how in the world did this happen? I mean, that is a look that would turn your blood into ice water. Take a look at her. She looks sinister. I'm not saying she is, but she looks evil. She looks absolutely evil. Is that what the kids are seeing? Out of all the photos that they take, what is supposed to be the best of the photos still look pretty bad. Kate does not want to be there. She's only going on these outings because she has to. And I think probably, oh man, a long time ago, who could say when, but if I had to guess, and I'm only guessing, I don't know her situation, but at some point, the reality had to have set in where Kate realized, is this it? Am I going to have to do this for? This is going to be years of going places she doesn't care to be, doing things she really does not want to do. All of this performative touring and such is probably exhausting for her. And at some point, she is going to pop like a rubber band, and I hope they catch it on film. Now, if you look right here, so Lakers outfit next is gold. Yeah, so someone said it right here that she's trying to imitate the Lakers outfit. And then, of course, that sign said monarchy is what it says right there. And it ain't never lying, nothing but truth. And then the next one says, it's getting ridiculous. You can't say anything about the royals. While on the other hand, trolls protesting Meghan were featured in tabloids. Exactly. The policewoman soon moved them. I thought protesting was legal. And then lastly, it says, this is why they're all pretending to do these trips in secret. Now, that one stood out right there. This is why they are going out in secret to do these trips because if more people, they're probably okay. As you know, they do have their intelligence people. They are able to monitor things on social media and otherwise. And they probably have gotten wind of more protests. And so, in order to avoid any protests, big or small, so they can make sure they get their photo ops without any disruption, they are probably doing a lot of these visits in secret to make sure that they can avoid, stuff like this. That is why they're doing these things in secret. They want to avoid that. Meghan Markle fans think children keep giving Kate Middleton side eye. They actually ran that article in Newsweek today. Newsweek, which used to be a respectable American magazine, which has gone rogue, which has been bought out and has become like a right wing hatchet job. Of course, they listened to us on social media and they decided to run with that story. Kate Middleton's visit to London Chelsea Flower Show prompted social media speculation suggesting school children were not entirely positive about meeting her. Well, see, they want to limit it to to the school children at the Chelsea Flower Show, when the truth is, we have been saying this for the longest. If they've been paying attention, this did not just start with the Chelsea Flower Show. This has been an ongoing theme where the children cannot put enough space between themselves and Catherine Middleton or Kate Middlebum. They cannot get away from this chick fast enough. And then, I saw that they had this article about, let me see, it was about um, gaffes. It was about gaffes. Um, Princess Diana, and I think it was in the Daily Mail, Princess Diana tumbling on the steps. This person okay, the Queen's hat blew off. There was one where Sarah Ferguson's hat blew off. They had everything in there except for, guess what? Kate's dress flying up and her showing her behind. They didn't mention that one time. They had everybody's situation in there except for Kate's. There was no mentioning of the fact that every time the wind blows, that Kate's skirt would fly over her head. No mention of it. Of course not. they have to protect her. Hey, Black Queen. Okay. And then right here. Now, this is also kind of interesting. Kate gets attention with what is that? Yeah. Yeah. Kate gets attention with the king's blessing, as he knows that's how the monarchy will survive, says Charles biographer Robert Jobson. Robert Jobson said that. Well, the reason why he said that is because the past couple of days, as Picture Perfect Kate risked stealing the limelight from the king, how Diana overshadowed Charles during marriage and even after divorce. So, honestly, they had these two stories side by side in the Daily Fail. Both of these stories were side by side. I go to look at the one about Robert Jobson, and what do I find? They got this one here too. Interesting. You have the one from Robert Jobson, which is an attempt to cancel out what they mentioned yesterday, and that was the fact that Kate is still in the limelight. And so, as you can see, the Mirror also says Charles gives Kate blessing to do the same thing that sparked Diana envy. Experts claim, blah, blah, blah. So, on the one hand, we all know Charles has a very fragile ego and that he doesn't like people to overshadow what he considers to be his important work. But on the other hand, it is also true that Charles and Camilla are just not as interesting and as photogenic as the Cambridges. So, like it or not, they need Will and Kate. Although Will and Kate, of course, cannot hold a candle to the Sussexes, which, more people would be interested in seeing. But since, they're not available, then they have to accept this. So this is what happened yesterday. King Charles is furious at Princess Kate's Chelsea Flower Show thunderstilling. Is Charles being forced to rein in Kate's shadow? Royal insiders fear Princess of Wales' visit to Chelsea Flower Show overshadowed that by the king and queen. So that is what they were saying yesterday. And then today, now it has turned into Charles has given his blessing. I think that there is a struggle between the two houses of Windsor and that people are troubled in both camps. Charles doesn't like the idea that William and Kate are not staying in their place. And obviously, there has been some chatter going on about the fact that they refused to curtsy on several occasions. Oh, well, curtsy and bow at several occasions. And then, of course, here comes Kate jumping out of the car with all her hair extensions, running into the Chelsea Flower Show, supposedly unannounced. Now, I don't know how much time was in between Kate's arrival and departure. I don't know if they were there at the same time, but of course, if they were, then cameras that were meant for Charles would have been taken up by Kate. Very strange that that happened because we all know the royals tend to coordinate as much of this stuff as possible. So obviously, someone let slip the coordination, and it was a disaster for Charles. So they are gaslighting. They're changing the story. It was a show of disunity, disloyalty, whatever you want to call it. It showed that there was no cooperation between the two houses. But for the sake of the brand Windsor, they are going to let Robert Jobson put this story out there to try to make it seem like they're unified, but we all know better than that. Kate upstaged him and he was pissed. So now take a look at this. This is what we should have seen at the coronation on the left side. That is a photo from Queen Elizabeth's coronation where they're wearing those crimson robes. They have their coronets to put on after the actually, that's in the House of Lords. That's the opening of Parliament. But this is what they were supposed to wear on Coronation Day. And then if you look on the right, that was the actual Coronation Day. You got Aunt McFartlane, you got Katy Perry doing a selfie. This was supposed to be a very sacred occasion where all the lords and ladies of the land would come together to see their king crowned. But instead, you and think about this. Remember how Hollywood they said Meghan's wedding was? Harry and Meghan's wedding was too Hollywood. What do you call this coronation? I mean, this, you had reality stars. You had a kid who spent the night in a tent to raise funds. The butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker, and the lords and ladies were excluded. And instead of the 8,000 people that the queen had, it was down to 2,000 just average people, which I still think that was insane, but that's the way Charles wanted to do it. What did you say? Z-listers? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that yet. Yeah, Z-list on Hollywood. um, yeah, they do look like a bunch of Santa Clauses, right? Uh, Katy Perry was on TV speaking on American Idol, getting rid of her and how she's been rude to young contestants. She seems like a very rude person. The Big Hat Circus. Thank you for that. I call it a farce. Isn't it farce? My fault, I fear. Me here on the ground, you in midair. But where are the clowns? Oh well. So much for that. Now, right here, it's not Sophie's fault. The police did it. Family of great grandmother 81 who died after she was hit by Duchess of Edinburgh, a cop escort blame motorbike outrider who endangered the public as they visit spot where she was killed. So there's the family placing flowers where Helen was mercilessly killed when she was hit by a police escort motorcycle that threw her some 40 feet. And of course, after breaking several bones, she died from that, and of course, the severe brain injury that she received because it was some big occasion to take Sophie someplace. I don't even think they ever said where Sophie was headed to, but the sister in law of the king, who is not a blood relative and whose husband doesn't really have a job. And of course, she went bankrupt at her. You know what? Yesterday, I was listening to Anne of Duchess of Success talking about talking about Sophie. I'm trying to think, what was that she said? She said something about, anyway, it was so funny the way she described Sophie's situation. I was sitting up here in tears. It was so funny. But I was like, gosh, Anne. Oh, she spoke about her bankrupt business and um I can't remember the whole thing, but I just remember I was sitting up here in tears. It was so funny. Um but I don't know, it's just Sophie she deserves a good dragging, I believe, because she's such a dreadful person. I'm never going to forget those glances that she kept giving Megan. I promise you, that that she tore her last pair of drawers with me when that happened. BW, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Thursday to you. Thank you for being here. Uh, Lynette Clark, thank you so much for that. Let me see. Love that there are two royal houses are fighting with each other. Gaslighting doesn't work on us. No, it doesn't. We know better. Plus, we got receipts. We always have our receipts. And then, of course, there it is. Miss Holland, was it Helen Holland? Died after being hit by a police motorcycle escorting the Duchess of Edinburgh through Earl's Court. But what was, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. And as we discussed yesterday, this seems to be, um, something that happened with the Duchess. Well, at the time, she was the Countess of Wessex. It also happened with Will and Kate. And then, of course, the Duke of Hazard himself, Prince Philip, rolling his car over several times after he broke that woman's arm. Prince Philip managed to break some woman's arm and had her sitting on This Morning, saying that she hadn't even received an apology or anything. Remember that, the Duke of Hazard? Just a good old prince, never meaning no harm. Yep, broke that. I mean, look at this poor lady. Look at her. I mean, she's a mess. Her arms in a sling, and her car was totaled. How do you explain that? Yeah, those royals are dangerous. They are like they're accidents waiting to happen. They should not rush them around like that. Now, we are going to end today with a little military stuff. Now, it all started because I saw this. Today, we remember the legacy of Flight Sergeant Peter Brown from Jamaica, who served in World War II. Now, this is a posting right here from the Black Poppy Rose, which a symbol to remember the contribution made by African, Black, West Indian, Caribbean, Indigenous, Native, Aboriginal, Pacific Islander communities worldwide. So, in other words, people who come from countries that were colonized, and some of them are now part of the Commonwealth, and at the time, they were required to come to the motherland, so to speak, to come to the UK so that they can help fight World War II, right? And so, um, I'm sorry, what was his name again? Peter Brown. There you go. Peter Brown had a funeral, London funeral held for one of the last pilots of the Caribbean. So Dr. Scholler was a little upset with Sky News because Sky News referred to him as a so called pilot of the Caribbean. I'm not sure exactly why they used the language so called, but
This man was 96 years old. He lived alone, doesn't have any children that anyone is aware of. And one of his neighbors of some 22 years said that he was every bit the gentleman. He was very polite and loving and considerate to his neighbors. And, he pretty much just lived his life out in obscurity. However, he's had his memories of a proud war record. And so you can see some pictures of him in his youth. There he is with his flight suit on. And there's an older photo of him. And this is the church where they had the funeral today. And I love this old photo. Not sure where it was taken, but it seems like it's in London. But very, very cool photo. And then there's this. I I'm not sure that I can compare his career with the Tuskegee Airmen, but that's what it reminds me of. You can see right here, that is the Tuskegee Airmen. At the time, I believe the United States Air Force was still part of the United States Army. I don't think it was actually made an Air Force until after the war. It became the Air Force after World War II. But that's what his story reminds me of. So I just threw that in there to remind people about the Tuskegee Airmen. And I believe the last of the, is there still one alive? I think maybe the last of the Tuskegee Airmen passed away not so long ago. And then this, of course, is the funeral. I believe they said there was like some 800 people that was there, if I recall the number. So, um, but yeah, they wanted to make sure that he had a very, very good send off. And and so, as you know, when you pull on a thread, who knows what you'll find? And that's exactly what happened. Take a look at this story. This is why I said we're going to end with the military today. France lets aged African army veterans finally go home. When I saw that, I was like, what the hell? Three suitcases sit piled on top of one another in 95-year-old Yaro Diallo's cramped studio apartment outside of Paris. After nearly 20 years of living thousands of miles from his family so he can claim his French army pension, the old soldier finally being allowed to return to, oh, let me pull that down so we can see it, return to live in his native Senegal. It's a victory, the decorated veteran told the AFP as he prepared to fly back on Friday with 8 other former soldiers aged 85 to 96. And I'm just like, what in the world is this all about? We're going home to live with our grandchildren. I'm going to live and eat well. I'll walk around the village. It's paradise over there. He added, a smile lightened up his thin face. Hundreds of thousands of African soldiers fought for their colonial master, France. This is the wording from France 24 in 2 world wars and against independent movements in Indochina and Algeria. But until this year, surviving veterans among the so called Senegalese infantrymen had to live in France for half the year or lose their pensions. In January, the French state dropped the condition, saying they could return home for good and continue receiving their monthly allowance of 950 euros or 1,000 US dollars. It would also pay for the flight and move of any veterans wishing to leave. So these men could not go back to their native countries. Otherwise, they would lose their pension. So they had to pile up in a studio apartment and live like they're in a dorm. These dignified soldiers did not have the, I guess, the respect of the French government that would allow them to live with dignity, live out the rest of their lives on their pensions in their native homeland. They had to spend at least half the year, and of course, as expensive as even living outside of Paris could be, they had to do that. Otherwise, they would lose their pension. I had never heard of this before. So I was like, well, I'll talk about this on Royal Sussex. But yeah, that's a slap in the face. Time work equals time paid, and that's always the way it should be. It doesn't matter what you do. If you have put in the time, you deserve your pay. And what a scandal to make them spend at least half of their time in Paris when that money, can go a lot further, I'm sure, in other places. They're living on the peripherique so that the money that they receive would hopefully go back into the French economy. Not good. Not good. So, also, I was going to share this. As I said, one thing led to another, and then somehow I found this story. Henry O. Flipper, born enslaved back in 1856, was a lieutenant in the United States Army and an engineer. He graduated from West Point in 1877, led the 10th Cavalry, developed Flipper's ditch, advised a U.S. Senator and Secretary of the Interior, worked in Latin America, and wrote about scientific topics. And very handsome, I might add, too. But yeah, so this gentleman actually completed um, West Point. So, and I don't know if he was the first or was he the only for a long time, but very interesting that he was actually born a slave and managed to go to West Point. And back in those days, 1877, we're talking about the post Civil War era. Um, Let me see, when did Jim Crow start? Just after the war, right? But anyway, somehow he managed to beat the odds and become a West Point graduate. Very, very cool. And then lastly, I'll leave you with this historic moment at the White House as the President of the United States welcomes General Brown, his appointee, as chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, with Vice President and the Secretary of Defense. If confirmed, it would mark the first time in history that the top two Pentagon positions are occupied by African Americans. So, just for reference, the Secretary of Defense is the guy on the left, and of course, the appointee is the one on the right. He would be the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Now, there has been, let me see, Colin Powell was once the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. So that means that Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, Coast Guard, they all have their top brass leadership, if I'm right. Is that right, Black Queen? And then the chairman is, one of the co-equal out of the group. And well, anyway, he's the like being the chief justice, should I say? He's like being the chief justice. You're all judges, but only one of you is a chief justice. So he will be chief among all of the chiefs. So for the first time in history, you have black representation in the Joint Chiefs of Staff position, the Secretary of Defense, and of course, the Vice President. So there you go. Thank you, Uncle Joe. Thank you, Uncle Joe. How cool is that? And with that, you guys, I guess I had one more thing. I almost forgot about this. I don't know about you, but I prefer presidents who like Mickey Mouse. And here's the last thing. Um, I don't know what Mickey Mouse did to Ron DeSantis, but bruh man is losing his mind. Do you see how he's been laughing like some kind of lunatic? He's been laughing like some kind of a lunatic. Mickey Mouse is like, now listen here, you idiots. I told you, get rid of that Ron DeSantis. He's really working my last nerves. Hi, boys and girls. Pay no attention to Ron DeSantis. I'll take care of him myself. So, yes, Ron DeSantis is flipping his lid. He is like, they're going to have to put him in a booby hatch somewhere because he has Mickey Mouse on the brain and he's not doing well. So I think he's finally at the point where he's starting to flip out a bit. So um, I think he'll probably go from the state house into the nut house by this time next month. I think he's done. And speaking of he's done, so am I. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming to Royal Sussex. Now, listen here, you idiots. I told you, take care of Ron DeSantis. I want him out of there. All right. I think I will leave it there. Okay. Thank you very much for your generous contributions. Also, thank you, moderators, for keeping this a safe space. This has not been a Mark Goodson or Bill Totson production. Nobody is going to receive a year's worth of turtle wax. Nobody is going to receive an Amana radar range. Am I showing my age now? Nobody is going to receive a motorboat, patio furniture. Oh man. And all that other stuff they used to give away on those game shows. Nobody's getting any of that stuff. Leg says he's been copying Kate's laugh. No doubt. No doubt. All of that performative art is making those people flip out. Okay. What is that? France is also making African countries pay tax for being colonized. Yeah. And I heard a long time ago that um, the mentality amongst some people is that, well, that is some like French government people, is that they feel like the colonies are still, or the former colonies are still part of France, like they're still part of it, and that um, France has been throwing their well, that's what they did to Haiti. It is a scandal what France did to Haiti. That is a scandal. And I think they should pay reparations to Haiti. But instead, Haiti spent all those years paying reparations to France, and that kept them perpetually poor. And also, I have to say the United States is no better because the United States helped France enforce those payments. You know, the United States, Britain are just as responsible. They all have worked together to keep certain regions of the world poor while they enrich themselves. And I think I not think, I believe that the United States and France and most of the European countries, they should start paying some reparations to the countries that they have colonized. They should start paying reparations because, oh, you know what? Never mind. Keep the money because you know what's happening, right? The people are eventually going to show up. They can get their reparations when they migrate to these other countries, when they become expats in these other countries that cause them to live perpetually poor. That's how you get your money back. So keep your money and we'll come and get it, right? Right. Oh, it's okay, Compton Cali Gal. If they wait long enough, most people that they have colonized will come to them. That's why they're in such a panic because people are migrating in record numbers. And I say, welcome, vote Democrat. That's what I say. Welcome, vote Democrat. Well, you guys, if you don't know enough about American history, let me tell you, most of the southwest of the United States was once Mexico. The United States took it. So, as Eva Longoria once said, we did not cross the border crossed us. We did not cross the border crossed us. So, I say just wait. Don't wait for them to send you reparations. Come over here and get it. Your reparations is just about 1,000, 100, 200, whatever the space is. Your reparations are about 1,000 miles away. So come and get it. By the year 2050, the United States will cease to have European Americans as the majority of the country. They will become a minority in comparison to all non Caucasian people. And of course, you know what they're going to do at that time? They're going to declare that what they're going to do is try to turn anybody mixed race, they're going to try to turn them against everybody else so that they will side with them. I promise you, I believe that's going to happen. Yeah. Migration is fun. It's fun because it makes people panic, and I'm here for it. It's what a lot of places deserve. I say migrate, migrate. Bring your family, work and pay into the system, and become a part of the so-called motherland. Oh, oh, Jael. Well, thank you so much for that. Thank you. Yeah, the Democrats aren't perfect, but they're not Republicans. So, but yeah, love it. Thank you very much. Yeah, Europe got so much wealth out of other countries, and it's about time that people got their reparations. I want my 40 acres and a mule. I want my 40 acres. Okay. All right, you guys. Thank you so much. And let us give our daily um, acknowledgement of our queen of hearts and our queen of everything. And of course, the last word. The last word is he's a lunatic. I love it. Yes, he is a lunatic. Thank you very much. I think a last word should always be something we all believe in. So, yes, I believe Ron DeSantis is an absolute lunatic. So, perfect. All right. And so, with that, you guys, I'm going to say farewell for now. Love you guys, and I will see you guys tomorrow. And I'm going to cue the Ginger Avenger.